Land of Sway, which is one of the Great American Songbook favorites. I have a friend who I've performed with in several shows, and he does a good version of Sway. And lots of people cover Sway. Rosemary Clooney. I did a duet with her just by tape. I don't know Rosemary Clooney, but I did a duet with her on that. Just added some harmony to her rendition, one of her renditions. She's got lots of versions of that, a few versions of that at least. And I put it on my Facebook and YouTube channel. So I'm getting some sun damage. I don't know, the light's weird because it's very hazy, but it's in the middle of the day, so the light's weird. I think the color's weird. Anyway, big storms expected, little storms happening at work, so canceled work today and tomorrow. I found out I can go to the zoo, no charge. That's awesome. And I bought a pass for the Science Museum. That's awesome. I just petted an alligator named Lily. She was like 7 months old. Softer than you'd think. And let's see what we got on the radio for another edition of Driving Perilously. That's a little busy. It's a little busy for commentary.
With Tag Richfield luggage sets, just
the class didn't cure him of his struggles with mental health. No 6-week course could.
No 6-week course can cure you of mental health problems.
Rather than replace other therapies. Still, it was deemed a success. UK charity Rethink is now funding Belcher to teach a course for men at risk of harming themselves in London. And it's set to launch later this year. For the world.
So, you know, the end of the news story where you have no idea what they've been talking about.
You're listening
Really?
to the world.
The world. Okay. All right. Let's do this. So I've listened to NPR, National Public Radio, on and off, here and there, for years and years and years. And the world, which that is the show that was on, show. They used to advertise with the most ridiculous sounding ad. Here it was, PRI's the world. It was so unlike anything else that NPR ever does, right? PRI's the world. Like, it was like a used car salesman. And they don't do it anymore. And every once in a while I want to hear it to convince myself that it was as bad as I remember. Alright, let's see what else we got.
SAATVA.
Oh, the Piano Man. Now when you hear that background harmonica, wherever it is, can't you just smell the microphone that smells like a beer? I can. That metal smell that's hot from people breathing into it and smells like a beer. That's a good lyric, because you remember it 30 years later. Alright, let's see what else we got. play with someone. The director had been to a Barry White concert. And he said that the minute Barry White spoke or sang, I don't know, one or the other, the women just went crazy. Yeah, it wasn't how he looked. It was how he sounded, wasn't it? My mom had an interesting observation once. I forget which one it was singing. I think it was Tom Jones was singing. And after a couple notes, couple words, she thought it was Barry White. No, it was Barry White singing. And after a couple words, she thought it was Tom Jones. And I never thought about it before, but they sound an awful lot alike. She was right. Mother knows best.
Pay $189. You save $60. In-store only offer.
You saved $60, but you spent $189 that you didn't need to spend. So you didn't save
Knowing
anything.
these people and have a relationship with everything within it, with all that you said, it's just really great and fun.
Gary, I gotta tell you something. Full disclosure.
Full disclosure.
Your team back in the day. I remember MDA Jam, one of the greatest video games.
Full disclosure was one of the songs that was in the Addams Family. And we spent hours and hours. And I wasn't even in the show for as many months as the people that were in it, some of the other people that were in it. And they spent hours and hours perfecting this silverware choreography for the meal scene entitled Full Disclosure. And then when we did it, we didn't have enough room for us all to sit at the table with the chairs, and the way the table was set up, nobody in the audience could see what was on the top of the table that people had spent hours learning, and there wasn't room to do the intricate pieces anyway. So that was, wasn't that bad that I didn't know it, because couldn't see it anyway. So that's another edition of Driving Perilously. We are 8.5 minutes in. Very interesting day. Personal things going on and weather things going on. That reminds me of that movie. What is that movie that Diane Lane won an Oscar for, where she was having an affair and the wind blew her away because, the weather just responded to her personal life. It's kind of what's happening, the weather responding to personal things going on. Anyway, happy Friday. Friday seems to be the happiest day of the week. People anticipate the weekend on that day. And it's another edition of Driving Perilously and Parked Perilously at the moment. All right, take care.